The Vikings, fierce warriors, daring explorers, and cunning traders who once terrified Europe. From the late 8th century, they raided monasteries, founded kingdoms, and sailed as far as North America. But just as quickly as they rose to power, their era came to an end. So how did the mighty Vikings fall? In this video, we'll uncover the decline of the Viking Age, from shifting politics to the rise of Christianity, and the battles that ended their dominance. Part 1. The Rise of the Vikings. To understand their fall, we must first understand their rise. Beginning in 793 AD, with the infamous raid on Lindisfarne in England, the Vikings unleashed a wave of terror across Europe. Their longships allowed them to strike with speed and vanish just as quickly. But they were not just raiders. They were traders, settlers, and even empire builders. From Dublin to Kiev, Viking influence stretched far and wide. Part 2. Changes in Europe. By the 10th century, Europe was changing. Kingdoms like England, France, and the Holy Roman Empire were becoming stronger and more centralized. Fortified towns and professional armies made Viking raids less successful. The element of surprise that once gave the Vikings their power was disappearing. In England, King Alfred the Great and his successors pushed back, reclaiming lands from the Viking Danelaw. In France, Viking raiders were given land in Normandy, ironically turning Vikings into feudal lords loyal to the king. Part 3. Internal weaknesses. But Europe's resistance wasn't the only reason for the Vikings' decline. Internal struggles tore at the heart of Viking society. As Viking leaders grew wealthier, rival clans fought for power. The unity of the Norse world shattered into smaller competing kingdoms. And as time went on, raiding became less profitable. The targets were now better defended and the risks grew higher. Vikings began to settle permanently, farming instead of raiding, slowly losing the warrior culture that had once defined them. Part 4. The Christianization of the North. One of the biggest blows to Viking identity was the spread of Christianity. Missionaries, kings, and rulers pushed conversion across Scandinavia. Pagan traditions that fueled Viking culture faded as churches replaced secret groves. By the 11th century, Christianity was firmly rooted in Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. This transformation didn't just change religion, it changed politics. Once baptized, Viking rulers joined the broader European Christian world. Raiding fellow Christians was no longer tolerated, cutting off a major source of wealth and power. Part 5. The Final Blows. The final blows came from military defeats. In England, the Battle of Stamford Bridge in 1066 marked the end of Viking invasions. Harald Hardrada, the last great Viking king, fell in battle against Harald Godwinson. Just days later, William the Conqueror, a descendant of Vikings himself, invaded England, sealing the fate of the Viking Age. In the east, the rise of the Kievan Rus and stronger Byzantine alliances cut off Viking dominance in trade routes. By the late 11th century, the Vikings were no longer raiders, but just another part of medieval Europe. Part 6. The Legacy of the Vikings. Though the Viking Age ended, their legacy lived on. They left behind towns like Dublin and York, and influenced cultures from Russia to Normandy. Their mythology, sagas, and warrior spirits still inspire us today. The Vikings may have fallen, but they never truly disappeared. Conclusion. The fall of the Vikings wasn't sudden. It was a slow transformation. From raiders to rulers, from pagans to Christians, from outsiders to Europeans. And in the end, the Viking Age ended not with destruction, but with integration. What do you think? Did the Vikings truly fall? Or did they simply evolve? Let us know in the comments below.